What's up guys, this is StraightUpGruntled, and welcome to the first development log for a project that I have been working on and off for about the past 6 months. And the current title for the game is Vanquished. So it's a top-down shooter planet exploration sandbox game. Essentially, you go from planet to planet, explore all the planets, and get as many items and weapons as you can, and craft as much stuff as you can, and build bases and all that sort of thing, while trying to fend off the darkness that's creeping into every creature and soul of each planet. So basically, as you can see, here's some of the current gameplay of the game, and it's pretty good right now. There's not a lot of features in the game, and a lot of like enemies and weapons and whatnot. However, there are a lot of biomes that I've been working on. Now, before we look into some of this current footage, I do want to show you guys a little bit of where the project started. About 6 or 7 months ago, I started working on the prototype for the game. As you can see here, my pixel art skills back then were not so great. However, it was a working prototype, and it helped me to figure out if this was a good project to be spending this much time on. After I had worked on the prototype, I decided to move on to the actual building of the game. I do have some original footage from the original structure of the game here, but it's very, very, very laggy, and the reason why was I found that many of the ways I was programming all of the different features into the game were not very expandable and were very, very shortcut, like if that makes sense to any of you programmers out there. So I decided to take December off learning how to program and how to make smaller games. At about the end of December, I started working on this game jam with my brother, and we built this game called Uh-Oh Santa, which is basically like a little mini game sorting simulator thing where you're like in Santa's workshop and you have to sort all of the presents. And we actually do have some gameplay footage here, and this was super fun to develop, and it really helped me to step back and learn the basics of how the engine that I was using, which is Godot, how it really works, and how to actually build things and put things together that will be able to be expanded in the future. I liked the idea of the package sorting simulator so much that I actually took it and started working on it as an individual game. Now, this project got put on hold for now, but it could be come back to at any point after I finish Vanquished. And so, as you can see, I got some pretty cool mechanics here where the packages are on conveyor belts and they sort automatically. I was thinking that this idea could work for like an e-commerce business simulator game where you have to process orders and you have to sort packages to go to the right place. It would be something kind of like Prison Architect or Academia School Simulator, where it's a top-down management game. Now, this I'm definitely going to be coming back to because I really like this idea, but I eventually just kind of lost motivation for the project. The package sorting is super complex in how it works, and it was very difficult to try to get everything to work how I wanted to. So, I put this project back on hold. This was around the end of January. I was feeling pretty discouraged, and I didn't really know what to do at this point. So, a lot of my friends started to encourage me to go back to Vanquished. They thought that it was a very cool idea, and I was a little bit concerned about starting into that project again. I didn't feel very comfortable with procedural generation, as I had never learned a topic like that, ever, and I didn't know if my programming skills were up to the task. However, I decided to go into it knowing that I have created several games before in the past, I just never released them. I created the Game Jam game with my brother, and I created another old game that ended up not seeing the light of day either. However, it was a way for me to learn how to use the very basics of Godot, an engine that I was quite comfortable with. And so I hopped back into the project. I soon came to realize that my programming skills had increased by working on that Game Jam game and the Blackmailed game, which was the package sorting game, that I actually felt pretty comfortable with programming it in GDScript, which is the native programming language of Godot. And so I actually had the original prototype for this build of the game up within only 3 days. I was very, very, very proud of this, and I just felt very encouraged by it. And by the way, all of this version of the game, this prototype, I started about mid-March. February and the beginning of March, I kind of took a break, and my final school musical rehearsals were in play. However, I felt like in March and April, when all the madness that started to occur with having to stay home, I had decided that it would be a good idea to start working on the project again. So now, as the current state, you can see there's a lot of features. We got about 9 or 10 biomes that can randomly generate, and we also have the gun again. The melee weapon from the original demo was taken out, but I will be adding it again. It just needs a bit better of a programming script to run it. Along with that, you can see we have an ammo counter in the bottom right, and this gun currently has a magazine count of 30 bullets. However, you can reload the gun once it hits 20, so that way the player isn't trying to constantly reload. The orange bar that you see above the hotbar is actually the player's light energy, and this is where I really wanted to go for this game. The main mechanic of this game is a light versus dark battle, and so basically the entire world has been taken over by a black darkness nebula, and the player has to fend off the darkness in order to regain control of each planet. So by doing this, essentially, the player harvests light energy through solar panels and machinery and all that by the bases they build, and this energy gets directly converted into credits or points that the player can use to do various tasks, such as craft recipes, shoot bullets, use certain tools, etc. I felt like this mechanic would be a very, very, very interesting one that hasn't been used before, at least from what I know of. It would also take the exploration genre and the top-down shooter genre and mash them up together, and a mechanic that really blends those two together very well. Now, as you can see, this is the current state of the game, and I will be working on this a bunch for the next couple of weeks, seeing as how we're all kind of stuck at home right now, worldwide for the most part. So it looks like I'll likely be able to put out a development log every couple of weeks or so, or about once a month. That doesn't seem like a very, very short period of time between the different development logs. However, you can always follow me on my Twitter page, or you can follow us on Discord, which those links will be in the description and probably up in a card in the top right corner. Or you can come follow us on our itch.io page, which I will be creating and posting before the release of this devlog. And so if you would like to, you can subscribe to my thing there and see when I'll be posting the demo for the game. The first demo will be coming up soon. However, I still want to implement base building and a couple of other features before that public demo comes out. However, if you would like to be a private tester and you're very interested in this, please make sure to follow our Discord. The Discord and the Twitter are usually where I post the most updates. Discord is usually where I get my feedback and ask for other people's opinions on my game and what stuff they want to be added to the game. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching this devlog video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe and like the video. It really, really helps me to be able to create more content. Having more followers really helps to encourage me to post these devlogs as much as possible. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that you like the game, and I will be working on it the weeks to come. I'll see you guys later.